they're still the belle of the ball. They still are, I think, highly, highly important to the ecosystem that is college football. But they could get wedged out if they don't ultimately decide, hey, we need to join the SEC. We need to join the Big Ten. I think most people assume the Big Ten would be their destination. But, Paul, what if the SEC and the Big Ten do decide to leave? Then what does that mean for Notre Dame?
Well, I think at that point Notre Dame has to make a move, and Notre Dame has probably been wise. It's been easy to criticize them. Why didn't you get in the ACC during COVID when the ACC had their back? Well, I don't know if they saw what was happening. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But by sticking to their guns, they may be benefiting because while the Big Ten certainly is their geographical move, I mean, I could see them doing either one. But I think ultimately the Big Ten will get Notre Dame. It makes way too much sense, and I don't really care about 50 or 100-year-old feuds. That doesn't matter anymore. That's always been the excuse given. But I think it's time for Notre Dame. I was on a program the other day where one of my co-hosts said that they're simply not relevant. That's not true. They are relevant. They're not as relevant as they think they are, but they're still pretty important in the world that we live in every day.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're as relevant as anybody. I also think they could, in the event in which things don't move forward, I mean, they could start attracting more and more schools to the independent ranks when grant of rights run out elsewhere, and they could start their own movement. So I think Notre Dame is highly important and will be a fascinating part of the conversation moving forward. But as it relates to them in the college football playoff, they're never going to have a conference championship, so therefore they're never going to have a first-round bye, at least the way that things are structured right now. Is that going to be okay with Notre Dame? Or are they totally fine coming from the at-large pool and potentially chasing a championship?
I think they're okay with it. And as you know, Jack Swarbrick was on the original committee that put this thing together. So they saw it coming, and I think they'll benefit long term. Because if we go to 14 or 16, the first round buys may be extinct anyway. So they'll be protected from that standpoint. So, but I think ultimately what we have now in 2024 is not going to look like this 2 to 4 years down the road. I don't think a lot's going to change short term, but I think college football is going to go through another explosion here in a couple of years.